In this video, guys, I want to test Liliam versus Diting. Now, this is not to kind of like say who wears the crown as the best damage dealer or anything like that, because we kind of like already know that. It's just to see how much of a difference we're going to notice in terms of damage numbers and all that good stuff. Before we get into that, I just want to give a massive shout out to Etheria Restart for sponsoring the video. If you guys want to try out the game, you can click on the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. And if you are looking for a union slash clan slash alliance, come and join us in the Celestials. I will leave the link to our Discord, or you can see it right here on the screen. We have tons and tons of different guilds, competitive, more casual, pretty much something to fit everyone's needs. Plus, we have an amazing community. But let's quickly talk about Liliam and Diting. Why do I want to check that? So basically, guys, we kind of know that Liliam, she's crazy busted. She has very good multiplier. She deals crazy good damage. What we're going to do, we're going to give both of these units the exact same gear shell to be kind of like on the playing field. I do have both of them fully maxed in terms of skills. They are both very good at sniping. Now, each one of them will have pros and cons, even though it's pretty hard to find her any cons, right? She does bring the increased attack, the increased speed, which means that you don't need to fit another character in the team that will do that for us. And of course, one of the main differences will be the fact that she is not empowered. So she won't have any of these basic stats. And the most important thing, she won't have this. Increases the final damage dealt by 10%. So, because one of them is an SSR and the other one is an SR unit, it's much easier to fully empower him. In fact, it's much easier to fully skill him as well, truth be told. So that's why I want to see how much of a difference we're going to see in the damage. Is it worth it for everyone to fully max Liliam? If we don't care about PvP as much, right? She is very powerful in PvP, so I would strongly recommend it to max her anyway. But maybe you want to prioritize some different characters. Maybe you don't have the resources available because maybe you just pull her. Should she be your main priority on the account in terms of investing? Or more or less you can rack all of the content with Diting, okay? And this is his main benefit, having the ability to fully empower the character. Now, I have her built on a Fury, Momentum, Fury Edge with a Count Shell. You can run, of course, if you want a White Fang. Honestly, in terms of difference, damage difference is not that big of a deal. Yes, you will gain some damage stacks with a White Fang, but you're not really gonna stay in the fight for like, I don't know, too long to actually really get the most out of those buffs, because we're not gonna go versus the guild boss or anything like that. So Diting, unlike Liliam, he won't bring his own increased attack or increased speed or anything like that. So that's kind of like the con with him. He does have this passive. Now the thing is, if the enemy won't have the lowest HP, he will basically kind of like lock onto one of the side minions, which is not that great. He does bring vulnerable to the fight, which is really good. He has multiple hits, which once again is really good. Let's start with Liliam first. So we're going to test them in a couple of different areas, guys. We're going to go on to... let's just go, for example, on Nikonana first. So we're going to go on Nikonana. I should be able to bring in a character with increased attack in here that will get the job done without a problem. Let's see what I am running in the team, because I actually forgot. I might have to drop Obol from the team, but that is not a problem. So we can drop Obol out of the team to make sure we're bringing that increased attack. So I'm quickly going to load the team first. And we're going to drop Obol out. And we're going to bring in Nymphonial, right? She's going to give us immunity, so we don't have to worry about the minions. And I probably need to give her some gear quick, but that's not a problem whatsoever. Where is she hiding? Let me just quickly see. I haven't 6-starred her yet, though. So in terms of modules and stuff, we have more or less what we need. We can literally give her this gear right here without a problem. Actually, I have to swap something on Klaus, but that won't be an issue either. I have too much accuracy on her like this because I just swapped that gear, but it doesn't matter. We just want to get basically the immunity from her versus this boss, right? So if we go on claws, let me just quickly give her something else for the speed, and this one from Viper can actually work. And like this, we should be Gucci. We're going to have the increased attack for Diting 2 when we're going to try him. Defense down, everything else that we need to take this boss down. So we're going to lock on him just in a case, and we're going to put it on 1x speed. We got resist. No, we have the defense down, but we got resisted on the other debuff, so I'm going to have to retry this. That's the only downside of trying it with defense down or other debuffs, but we want to keep it nice and sweet. And the claws is just perfect in here. If I have to retry a couple of rounds, not a problem. So be it, right? Okay. Give me the buffs. Give me the buffs. Okay, and now the damage. Let's actually have a look at the hit. So we have... I'm going to have to write them down. $225k. Either way, what is the most important thing is the HP level, right? So I think it was 225k, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty damn nasty. I will just take a screenshot as well with the HP level, so we have that here to kind of like give us an idea. I think that's pretty damn crazy damage. Like, we're going to be able to just wipe the boss instantly. But can we do the same with Diting? That's one of my other questions now, because I think we can. Like, we're going to get increased speed from Lily anyway. It's not a necessity to have her... to have the increased speed on Liliam right from her own buff, so it really doesn't make a difference. But that went really, really smooth, right? We absolutely demolished the boss. What if I'm going to bring in Diting with the exact same freaking gear? Can he get close to it? Can he do more because of the empowerment, or he's going to do less? So Diting right here, fully maxed as well, level 50. So what I'm going to do, I'm quickly going to make sure I have this build saved up. I might not have it. Liliam, bang, that's done. And let's go to Diting, and we're going to literally transfer that gear. But first, let's check her total stats actually, right? So you can see her total stats right here. As I've mentioned, pros and cons, not many cons with her, but he will have additional stats because of the empowerment. That is a pro with him, right? And these are the stats on her. And if we go to Diting, literally bring the exact same build on, we have more crit damage. We have slightly less crit rate because we're not getting it from stats, but it doesn't matter because his passive is just goated as well. Attack-wise, we are almost the same, but we have quite a bit of more crit damage. I'm so freaking curious because I wanted to test this for quite a while now. Let's see what happens now. Very, very curious. So land the debuffs. We got them all three. Beautiful. The decreased speed is not too important though. So we are putting the debuffs now. Okay, and let's see Diting. Come on! Bring in the damage. Let's see how crazy it is. Let's see how crazy it is. Now, it's going to be harder to see the damage numbers, but we can compare it with the screenshot that I've got before. Okay, so those are the two hits that we've got from him. So if we're looking at the HP level, I mean, almost the same. Almost the same. It is indeed less damage, even though she's not empowered, which is crazy, right? So it is a bit of less damage, but not by a massive, massive amount or anything like that. So I'm going to try to do it again, but this time around I'm going to try to actually add up the numbers. So it's going to be a bit harder to make sure I'm noticing them both. But let's see. There isn't much of an RNG in terms of the damage hits in this game, unlike other games where you have like a 20% variation. It is a bit of a variation in here too, but it's not that huge, right? And seems like we got resisted right there. Okay, we've got everything up and running. Come on. So we got the buffs. And now we are ready to pop off with him. So let's see if I can quickly check those numbers though. So 147 and 84. 147 plus 84k. And the damage seems very, very similar now with her, with what she dealt. Literally, it's almost like identical. Almost like identical. Because if you're adding it up, in fact, Diting actually maybe dealt a bit of more damage this time around. So we have, what did I say, 147k. And we have the 84k, right? So 231k. And she dealt 225k before. So actually Diting did slightly more damage this time around. Which is actually crazy, right? As long as you're getting the right buffs on him, it doesn't seem like he got power cracked. And that's another thing that I wanted to check. The main reasons why I wanted to check this actually is he power cracked by Liliam like by a massive level, or more or less they're still kind of like in the same avenue in terms of damage. And they seem to be more or less in the same avenue, which is actually pretty damn good. Very interesting actually looking at it. Now, what we are going to do, guys, we're going to try something else. And we're going to try a You know what? Before we do that, let me just let a full run play with him too. Let's do a full run with each one of them. Any of them will get me a better time in terms of animations. The thing is, with Liliam, I do not need necessarily to have Nymphonial in here. And right there, we got resisted on it. Come on. Come on, Klaus. Stop messing around, man. Stop messing around. This 10% resistance chance is a bit too high, man, in the game. For PvE, PvE should definitely be lower. For PvP, I get it. But for PvP, it's too freaking harsh. So, bang, bang. I still love, in a way or another, his animation more. Not sure why, but I do. So, we got the reset. And can we get it faster? And what do we have right here? Bang, one hit only. That was a 200k because of vulnerable. 34 seconds was basically the exact same run as we initially had it with Liliam too. I think it was 34 with her too. But Diting is putting in some serious work. Now, that's where the cons with him come in play. If we are looking at different content, so versus Nico Nana was pretty easy to run with this team. If we're running versus Hoyan in here, we might be able to pull it off with her in the team, especially if I make her faster than Klaus. I can take Selena out, for example, right? And bring in the exact same units I used on the other team. So let's see how much speed I need on Nymphonial. So Klaus, I could drop some speed on her because I don't need her as fast. And that might fix the issue, right? Let's see. So right now we have 60, 73. And Nymphonial has 87. Okay, so she should be going before her. So we get that immunity. Let's see. Okay, so got a buff from Lily. We got the buffs right now. Klaus going in. We're going to get those hits, which is fine. We do have the immunity, which is great. We have the increased attack for Diting. The damage is not as impactful versus this boss, for example, which is fine. We're going to have the reset. Now, the downside of it is that Liliam has the downside for Diting, right? Is that Liliam has a very, very powerful S2 skill, right? While Diting only has the basic skill, which most likely it won't be as beneficial. Now, because we are not controlling the minions, that's another problem that we have right here. And you need to bring him that increased attack to really make the most out of him. And that's the biggest con with Diting, right? Because if you're running in Liliam, it's going to be a completely different story. That's why she's so freaking good. It's not just the damage that she brings, it's literally everything else. So you see, this team actually failed. But can we actually do it with Liliam? Like that, I'm going to have to basically swap her out of here, but I want to try one run in the exact same format. So we're going to go back right here to see Liliam, bring this in, and the good thing is that at least on Ikonana we've seen the damage seems to be more or less similar. Now, it should be more or less similar versus every single boss, to be honest. I see no reason why it would be a difference, because we're not talking about ignore defense mechanics or anything like that would cause our characters to deal different amounts of damage, right? She definitely dealt a bit of more damage in here, though. At least it feels like it. But can we win this fight, though, because of her second skill too? Or we cannot. The thing is, if I'm running a team like this, I can bring in Celine instead of Nymphoniel. I can bring in Kachi instead of Nymphoniel, and that will get the job done. Right now, we drop the defense down too. So no matter how we're playing it, that's still going to be an issue. And that's mainly because I need to basically drop in Nymphoniel. But look at her second skill, how much damage it actually dealt, right? So that is very, very good. But other than that, we're really not having like a crazy huge benefit. We got a heal reduction on right now, and probably we're going to lose this fight too. But we managed to take the boss to a much lower HP. And of course, this is to do with the fact that I'm trying to run the exact same team, and it's not something that I should be running in here versus this boss, right? As soon as I drop Nymphoniel out, it's easy peasy. Now, the thing is, it's extremely hard to bring that increased attack for Diting in the team. And that's why Liliam is just so freaking goated in all of the damn content, because she can just come in and get the job done no matter what, right? And that is absolutely huge. So I can bring in Celine, and I'm quickly going to try to basically get the same gear on her. She will need the accuracy, which is perfect. Celine, where are you hiding? Modules, and let's bring this in. 286 speed, 180% effect accuracy. Hopefully we're not going to get resisted. But now, for Liliam, I don't need the increased attack, right? And that is the massive pro with her. I will bring Diting in the exact same team. You can still do it, do not get me wrong. It's just not going to be as fast, right? Because I was farming this with Diting before. Bang! That was much better because we had an extra debuff. And that is the momentum set kicking in additional damage, right? Which is really, really good. But now, because we lock that, the boss won't be going crazy on us either. The minions won't be doing it either. And Liliam can actually use this skill again versus the defense down before it gets removed. And now, whenever she's going to take a turn, she's going to absolutely demolish the boss. 44 seconds. Now, as I was saying, pros and cons. I know I'm repeating myself there a bit too much, but I'm going to bring Diting in, and I want to see the difference. 46 seconds, and dang. He can do it too. Without a problem. He can do it too. But let's actually see how much it costs us not having that increased attack. So we're going to end it with this one, guys. I am happily surprised, or say like that, because they did not actually made a huge power creep move with her, because his damage is very, very good as well if you compare it. It's just basically the benefits of having that increased attack, you know. Okay, we landed the decreased attack. Can we land all of the debuffs? Yes, we can. Beautiful. Now we're going in with Diting. Even though we don't have that increased attack, we still dealt a massive chunk of damage versus the boss, right? Which is pretty good. So now we have 5 debuffs in there. Let's see when we're using the skill again. Momentum kicks in. Almost there. It's not the same damage, of course, but it's definitely really, really good. So it's just going to be a bit slower with him. He just doesn't have that crazy powerful S2 skill. Actually, barely any difference. So if you are wondering, guys, is Diting trash now because Liliam is in the game? Hell no, Diting is still freaking goated, and you should still invest in him, regardless if you have Liliam or not. Both of them are absolutely amazing, amazing characters. Crazy good damage dealers. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and you've found it helpful in terms of kind of like having a bit of a comparison to see the damage and talking a bit about pros and cons. Much love. If you enjoyed the content, smash a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.